So Shell was up this weekend,
Oh yeah.
this past week, and we went out to dinner with BK and Chicken and BK and Shell have been listening to the podcast,
Oh, okay.
and they were both like, "We're just so disappointed in Ramsey."
Oh,
Like
oh, you guys.
he doesn't remember anything.
I will let you know. Maybe this is breaking the magic glass wall or whatever. I do know a lot more than I let on.
Just not about this.
Well, no. Yeah.
They were mostly the Pride and Prejudice one when you didn't know any of the characters or the basic plot
Oh
of Pride
yeah,
and
no.
Prejudice. They were Shell especially was very disappointed.
Why would I know that? It's like a
It's
foo-foo.
common knowledge.
It's a foo-foo.
It's not foo-foo. It's
What?
incredibly sarcastic. Jane Austen is
All
hilarious.
right. I just remember watching part of one of the movies with chicken once, and that was it.
Yeah, well, it was
And
worth
and it
it.
was it was foo-foo.
It was not foo-foo. You didn't understand it. You were young and stupid. Watch it again
Wow.
now that you're mature and you have a greater understanding of
That is not where I thought you were going to go with that.
Mike likes it.
Oh, all right then.
He laughs at it out loud.
Speaking of, what is he playing behind you?
The new Dragon Age?
Yeah, okay. Dragon Age. Gotcha. Okay. Well, BK, Shell, I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart to have disappointed you.
If you could
This
see his
entire
face.
podcast right now has been to please you two, and I have just let you down. I'm so sorry.
I know that you can both imagine his face. Whatever you're imagining, multiply it. Multiply the snark that you think is on his face.
Yeah. Welcome to Words Are Hard, a writing and editing podcast. I'm your host, Ramsey, the extrovert in charge of keeping the conversation flowing.
And I'm your other host, Rachel, editor, indie author, and English teacher.
Today's episode is about starting a project,
This would have
which,
worked better if we had followed the original timeline because this would have been the first episode that aired in January, and now it's going to air at the
uh,
end, but that's
whatever.
fine.
Stuff
This is
happens.
for the people who start their New Year's resolutions in February. We
There you
gotcha.
go. But before we get into that, let's jump into our fun fact or trivia in this case for the day.
You don't think this
Rachel,
is fun?
I'm just going to move on. Which rapper set the Guinness World Record for the most words in a single hit?
I don't even know if I could name a
Yes, you
rapper.
could. Yes, you could.
I know like Eminem.
Stop right there.
Is it?
It's Eminem.
Woohoo!
There you go. Yes, Eminem. He holds the Guinness World Record for the most words in a single hit with the song Rap God. The song contains 1,560 words in 6 minutes and 4 seconds, which is an average of about 4.28 words a second.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I would say nobody probably not underappreciates Eminem, but sometimes I think people forget what a lyrical genius this guy is. And using like the grammar that he uses is great, and I think that's what sets him apart from a lot of other rappers out there. The mumble rap or crap, that's how a lot of artists put out where you can't really understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, he has full sentences, he has full thoughts, he has full structured works that I think it makes him one of the best that there is. And do you know when he was younger, he would sit there with a dictionary and he would just go through the dictionary and he would just, okay, there's a word, and I'm going to try to think of all the words that rhyme with that.
Oh, that's fun.
And he would come like orange, obviously can't be rhymed. but he would then, knowing that I can't rhyme, he would try to play on other words. So like orange, bored, and he would try to make words sound like they rhyme and
Hmm.
string different things together to make them work that they rhyme. So like this guy's mind is a genius when it comes to lyrics and word sentences and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't listen to a lot of rap. I appreciate rap lyrics.
Hmm.
I just don't like a lot of the music,
Sure. Okay.
but I know that there are extremely talented lyricists that are
Yeah.
rappers. I just don't listen to it.
And I would
Um,
think that he's the best.
I have no idea. I
Just
think
agree
that's
with me.
pretty subjective, but I'm sure he's up there.
Nah,
I have nothing to
anyways,
compare it to.
yeah, I'm
Real quick
correct.
though, what you were talking about with the
Yeah,
orange and board and whatever, that
yeah.
is called a slant rhyme.
Slant rhymes. Yes, I've heard that. Suck it, BK. Tell me I don't know anything. All right, on to the main
Because
topic
that's what you
for
portray.
shut up. Main topic for the day. Starting projects. So go ahead, take it away from there.
So, as somebody who has started many projects, and again, we're talking specifically writing projects, but I think this actually works for many other types of projects.
I'm
I
sure
have
it
a
does.
few do's and don'ts.
Okay,
And because I like symmetry, I have four do's and four don'ts,
makes sense.
tips and tricks for starting your project. So, the first thing to do,
Are we gonna do
do, do,
do
do, do,
and
do,
then
do, do.
don't, or are we gonna do
How do you
don't?
want it? How do you want to do or don't it?
I think we do all the I think we don't.
Okay.
Stagger them. Okay.
Okay. This is in no particular order because Ramsey just messed up my whole sequence. Do decide on a purpose for your project. Is this something that you're doing just for fun? Is this something that you intend to publish? If you intend to publish it, do you intend to go a trad route or do you want to self-publish? Are you going to do it like a serial?
And a reminder for those maybe who've not heard all the episodes, trad is a traditional route.
Traditional? Yep.
Okay.
So figure out what you would like to do before or as you start your project. That doesn't mean that it's set in stone. You can always change it. That's totally fine. But having that in the back of your mind as you work on it is going to help you with your goal setting and help you figure out how you're going to finish it, the route that you're
Sure.
going to take to finish it.
Okay, that makes sense. So decide on a purpose.
Yep.
Okay. What's the first don't?
Don't make this an all or nothing thing,
Okay.
especially with your goals.
So what do you
So
mean by
if
that?
So if you set a goal and you say, okay, I'm going to write 1,000 words a day, that's my goal.
Hmm.
And then both of your children get an ear infection in the same week, and you have to take off school and scramble to write lesson plans at 7 a.m. and end up teaching your first class with both of your children with you because the sub can't get there until second period, and then you take them to the walk-in and you get their antibiotics, but they don't actually have the antibiotics at the pharmacy until like 7 o'clock that night. And so you've got two sick kids at home and you're not writing those 1,000 words that day. That's okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you going with this?
It's okay. A lot of people will get to the point where something like that happens. And if you're a parent, like that's your typical Tuesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you told me about that, that's a real day in the life of Rachel.
That was Friday. That was my
Yes.
Friday. Yep.
You good
I'm good.
from that?
I'm
Okay.
good. We
I
uh
mean,
we
you're
survived and that
bringing it
was
up.
only
There's,
like the second half of the insanity of my day. We started at midnight with my 2-year-old throwing up, so that was great.
right. Yeah.
Um
Okay, so how does that tie into, well, okay, so what you're
so on a
saying
day
make,
like that, right? I'm
yeah.
obviously not going to write 1,000 words. I'm probably not going to write anything at that
Hmm.
point, right?
Yeah.
It is super easy to fall into, well, okay, it's already 6 o'clock and I haven't written anything today. It's not even worth trying.
Hmm.
or this week was just so horrible. It's not worth trying to write anything. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. If your goal is 1,000 words a day and you can only write 100, that's
Hmm.
100 words that you wouldn't have written otherwise. It's still
Yeah,
worth
and
doing, even if you can't do all of it.
be kind to yourself, but don't take advantage of yourself either.
Mhm.
Um, like what you just said, the all or nothing thing. I did and do not do this. I do not recommend this to anybody. This isn't about writing, but I did a self challenge where I tried to walk 1,200 miles in 300 days, is what I was going to try to do it in.
How does that
And
work out math wise, like daily? What did you
four mi
have to?
it was like 4 miles a day.
Oof, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. That was a very ambitious thing. And for one, that I bit off way more than I could chew, with that, underestimating being able to walk 4 miles a day with a full-time job.
And how
Yeah,
long that takes. Yeah.
it does take a long time. So I was just going to be, okay, I fell behind today. And I was kind of nice where I was like, okay, I only did two today. But then I'm like, I need to do two extra tomorrow to try to make it up. So instead of doing four, I have to do six. Do not do that to yourself. It
Mm-mm,
does not work. It
mm-mm.
just pushes you further behind. Just do your, okay, I didn't get it today. Well, now, I'm behind schedule, but I'm going to keep trucking.
Yep. Do
So,
what you can.
yes,
Obviously, still push yourself and challenge yourself. If it's a day where you're like, man, I'm just feeling lazy, I really don't want to. Yeah,
do
you
something.
still need to do it.
Right.
If it's a day like my Friday, it's okay to take that day off, or it's okay to only write 100 words, or, whatever. You can adjust as needed based on what's happening in your life.
Yeah. Okay. So decide on a purpose. Do not make it all or nothing. What's our second do?
Decide on scope, the scope of your project.
Okay. And what is that?
For a writing project, especially, it's helpful to know, is this going to be a standalone novel? Is this going to be a trilogy? Is this going to be the
Okay.
first in a series? Is this going to be a novella? For story structure, especially, like you need to know about how long the story is going to be. You don't need to know the exact word count before you start,
Hmm.
but you need to have a generalized, I'm aiming for a short story. I'm aiming for a duology, whatever. And again,
So,
it's okay to adjust.
yeah. Well, I was just going to ask that. Is it typical? And you're probably going to say it depends, but does this happen in writing where somebody writes a book just intending on it being a singular book, a standalone book, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you know what? I could keep going with this. I got another idea. And
There's
they crank out a sequel or a trilogy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a thing called scope creep, which is
That just
where
sounds uninviting.
it's where you start with usually it's like I'm gonna write a short story, and then you start to add to it or you get more
Well,
ideas,
okay, short stories seem like they're easy to
and then
morph
it
into a
stretches
full.
into, oh gosh, now I have 40,000 words. Whoops.
Okay,
That
but
definitely
but
happens with series.
we're not talking about
It's
you
not
because
just me. This is a thing.
okay.
It does also happen to me, but this is a thing. It has a name. I did
Okay.
not name it. But yes, this definitely happens with, I'm going to write a single book. And actually, you know what? I think I could explore this world and these characters a little bit
I
more. I'm going
mean,
to turn it into a series. Yeah, that happens all the time.
does it ever actually get to publication? Like this is gone, it is published, it has been
Yeah.
maybe a year, and then you're reminiscing about your book, and then you know what? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do
Or it
this.
was
Let's make a
received
sequel.
really well and
Yeah.
people want to know more of the story. Yeah, that happens
Oh,
all the time.
okay. Okay. Well, there you go. I think that'd be a pretty dang good accolade as a writer to,
Yeah,
okay, I only put out one book and people liked it so much they want another one.
it is. It feels good.
Yeah.
I haven't had that happen with published books because
Mhm.
poetry book, like that is what it is. And then the novella was intended to be a prequel. So
You're right. I mean,
you know that there's more coming.
the stuff you've put out either cannot have a sequel or there already is
Right.
It's
Um,
yeah,
but I've had it happen with fan fiction stories
yeah.
that I've posted, and I've had people, hey, can you write a sequel to this? Do you have any more? I'd love to know more about this. What happens here? It does. It feels really good.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so decide on the scope.
Yep.
Our next don't.
Don't underestimate small goals. So, yeah, it sounds really fun to walk 12,000 miles in 300 days. But when you break that down, 4 miles a day is not a small goal.
No, not and this was 4 miles on top of your daily stuff.
Right,
It was
exactly.
4 designated miles a day.
Think about your schedule. Think about how long it's going to take. Even 1,000 words a day sounds doable, and it is doable.
Hmm.
I can write if I am focused and uninterrupted. That's the main word there, uninterrupted. I can crank out about 1,000 words an hour.
Thousand
But,
words an hour.
mhm,
Wow.
but realistically in my schedule, how often am I going to get a solid hour of uninterrupted time? So maybe that would only take an hour at my best, but
Yeah, but
realistically in my day-to-day schedule, how am I going to break that hour apart?
you're
How
a
are you going to
mother.
break your 4 hours, your 4 miles apart in your day? So think about those things. Yes, you can set those big goals, but again, going back to your purpose, I have no idea why you would want to walk 4 miles a day. That sounds insane to me. But if your
Well,
purpose was, for example, I want to get in better shape. Okay.
nope. No, it was the significance of the 1,200 miles.
I know that wasn't your purpose.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
If it
Carry on.
was your purpose, then walking 1 mile a day is still going to get you to the goal
Yeah.
of getting in better shape. You don't
Yep.
have to start with the most you could possibly do every single day. Start small, build up. Those little goals add up.
Yeah, absolutely. Nickel and diamond.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't always necessarily need to take the giant chunks out, just nickel and dime it, and before you realize it, you got something good going.
It does. It adds up. And don't feel
Yeah.
like you have to do it all at once. 1,000 words,
Yeah,
if you
and
split that up into 10 different writing sessions, that's a lot more doable than I'm going to sit down for a solid hour.
right, and being able to tackle those little goals consistently helps develop the
It builds your
habit.
stamina.
Well, not just that, but it builds a habit because it
Yeah.
takes 27 days to introduce something new into your routine. So
Hmm.
if you're gonna have to write 1,000 words a day and you can't do it, well, it's never gonna be part of your routine.
Right.
But if you're gonna give yourself that 1,000 a day, but you're gonna do, okay, I can't do that today, but I'm still gonna get my 200 in, or I'm still gonna do whatever I can today, it develops the habit of writing.
It does. And then you get to a day where you don't write and you're like, oh, that feels weird. Like, I can't wait till I can
Yeah.
write again tomorrow. This just felt
Yeah.
off.
Right.
It also forces you to look at how much time you're wasting a day because, like, yeah, I can sit and scroll through Facebook and Instagram and whatever for half an hour,
Mhm.
but I could also crank out 500 words in that half an hour.
Hmm. It's the same thing for Duolingo. All of a sudden, it's like, oh crap, I got to get this done. I've got an hour left in the day. It's 11 o'clock. What did I do all damn day?
Yep.
I couldn't get this done throughout the entire rest of the day. Like,
Hmm.
what a waste. Okay, so don't underestimate small goals. I like that one a lot. And that a lot of these, we're kind of talking, I don't know, maybe Bethany rubbed off on us that we're kind of getting into like some life stuff here and not
I
just
said
writing.
these apply to a lot of different things.
Yeah. So Miss Tinsel, thank you for rubbing off on us. Okay, so our third do, what is that one?
Set a goal, actually, preferably multiple goals. Are you aware of the term SMART goals, the acronym?
Um, yes, I am.
Okay, well, for the
By
people who
reading
aren't,
this.
yeah, for those of
Yeah.
you who may not be aware or you've heard of it, but you don't remember exactly what they all stand for, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You want each
Mhm.
of your goals to fit all of those criteria. And you do want to have a variety of short term and long term goals. with each project.
Okay.
I find
So
that helpful.
do you specifically, because I'm sure others may, but do you do a like a vision board with your book?
I don't. I
You
know a
don't.
lot of writers who do. I
Okay.
don't find that super helpful. But I do these goals. So when you are setting your goal, you want to make sure that it's specific. So instead of, I'm going to write my book, okay, I'm going to write my book this year and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make it a standalone novel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, measurable. That is something that's measurable as opposed
Hmm.
to, I'm going to write more this year. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
No.
great. But
Yeah. Right. There's nothing to hold yourself accountable to.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you have no way of knowing then if you are
Successful or not.
successful.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay,
Okay.
I wrote 3 words. Woo.
Was that more? Was that,
Right.
know?
Make it achievable. So
Okay.
I'm going to write my single novel this year, as opposed to I'm going to write my 10 book series this year.
I'm gonna
And for
walk
some
four
people,
miles
that
a
is
day.
achievable. For me, that is not
Right.
relevant. Your goals should be relevant to your
They
project.
should. They should.
They should. Yep. And time bound. Give yourself a time limit so that you know what you're working toward.
So you're in your example of specific, you put time bound in there. Is there
Mhm.
anything different than that, or is it just that? S is specific, and then T
Oh,
is
but I
time.
said the novel in a year.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I find connecting those that maybe that's just the way my brain works. But
Okay.
when I help my students set goals too, automatically applying a time limit is really helpful for a lot of people because if you
Okay.
don't have that, this is what I'm going to do today, this is what I'm going to do this week, this is what I'm going to do this month. If you don't have that end date, a lot of people just
Hmm.
won't do it.
I want to throw in there with the goals,
Yeah.
something that I've always been told. And Mr. Pelkey, this is the very first time I ever heard it with you too. KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. He
Yep.
obviously did not coin that phrase, but
No, he didn't, but
he
that's
used
the
it a
first
lot.
time I heard it. That was fifth grade. I think that was the first time I heard him say that.
Yeah, don't
Um,
overcomplicate it.
don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, stupid.
See, I
Bye
was
bye.
nice and uplifting and be smart with your goals, and you call people stupid.
Well, I've called. Okay, let's move
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Okay, so that was your third do. So what's your third don't?
Don't beat yourself up if you have to miss a day or a week.
Hmm.
Life happens, and it's
It,
okay to take breaks when you need them. Again,
yeah,
not when you're just not feeling it, but when you
right.
need to take a break, take that break. Don't beat yourself up trying to get those 1,000 words on a day like my Friday.
Hmm.
You're just going to end up having to rewrite them because they're not going to be, you're forcing it.
Right.
It's okay to just let yourself rest, let yourself recover, and come back to it when you're able to.
Perfect practice prevents piss poor performance. So
That sure is a
don't.
lot of alliteration.
Yes, it is. That was another teacher of mine. Don't do it half-assed. Even if you have to do a small quantity, quantity or quality is better than quantity.
Yep.
So if you do have to do just a small amount, do that small amount. Just get it done.
Yep.
Okay. Fourth do, rapid fire.
Celebrate reaching your goals, both
I like
short
this
term
one.
and long term.
I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Take those
Give yours.
mini celebrations. I made my word count for the day. That's awesome. That's great. You worked really hard on that. Celebrate it,
Have a
recognize
cookie.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Or
Yeah.
call your brother and say, "Hey, I made my word count today. Woo!
Yeah. And I'll have a beer for you.
Thanks."
No, it's going to be a lot of drinking. I like this one a lot. Celebrate reaching your goals.
My celebration is really simple,
Hmm.
but it works for me. I use stickers. I have a planner,
God, you're
and
such a teacher.
on the days that I reach my word count goal, I put a little sticker on the day, and I feel
Oh
really good
man.
about it because I get to add a cute little sticker. Like it doesn't need to be a big thing,
Right.
but it makes
It's
me feel good.
something.
I look at my planner and I see all of my stickers and I feel good. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah. It's just like your little dopamine
Yep.
for the day.
Yep.
Keeps it going.
Yep.
It's a great way to trick your brain into doing a lot of things.
Yeah. And then you feel happy about it and you feel accomplished and you recognized, wow, look at all of this that I've done.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look back on and feel proud of when it's measurable and you can do your stuff. Don't you be that's my line.
We
Any
got
I
less
was
than 10
I
minutes.
was
Let's go.
trying to go on. All right. What's your last don't?
Don't wait for perfect conditions to start.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is a big one. A lot of people
Yeah.
get in their heads about, like, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to have a good breakfast and I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write and the birds are going to be chirping outside my window and the sun is going to be shining. No,
Oh my God, the birds aren't chirping. I can't write today.
right? Or, oh, I missed my alarm or I snoozed my alarm and I missed 20 minutes of the writing session. It's really not, I'll just start tomorrow. Don't do
Yep.
that to yourself.
No.
Don't wait
Get
for
it
the
get it
perfect
done.
time. Just do it. Start messy, start small, just start.
I like that.
Mhm.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So do decide on your purpose, decide on the scope, set your goals, celebrate reaching your goals. Don't make it all or nothing. Don't underestimate small goals. Don't beat yourself up if you've had a bad day or 10, and do not wait for perfect conditions to get it going.
Yep.
I like this a lot. That this can apply to so many different things in life, not just
It
writing.
does.
And I know you said that before, but this is some really, really good advice, good, solid advice.
Thank you. I've worked very hard to accumulate this wisdom.
Yeah.
Pass it on to you.
There we go. All right, let's move on to the word of the day. And I like this word,
Thank you. This word is persnickety,
persnickety, which
meaning
means
precise, fastidious, fussily particular, especially about trifles. A lot of good words in that definition, too.
that really is. Oh, fussily,
So,
fussily.
persnickety is actually a variant of the word pernickety. That was the
Interesting.
original from 1808.
Okay, it sounds like an Old West.
It's not. It's an extended form of the Scottish word pernicky, which is
Pernicky?
of pernicky.
Pernicky and not pernicky?
Might be pernicky. I don't know.
Okay.
It is of uncertain origin, perhaps somehow from particular. That's according to etymonline.com.
All right. All right.
There you go.
Pernicky, pernickety, persnickety, snickety.
Snicket.
I like it.
Lemony snicket.
Lemony snicket. Okay. Well, look at that. You didn't even have to holler at me to get going. We finished with 5 minutes left to spare.
Was
Good
it, is
God.
it five? I can't see the timer.
Yeah, it
Look
was
at
five.
that.
Look, it's almost like I know what I'm doing. Come on.
I
I
feel
had,
like you get lucky a lot.
oh God, you have no idea. All right. Well, with that being said, if you enjoyed the show today, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Share with your friends or someone who needs to learn some grammar. You can also sign up for Rachel's editing newsletter at rosedeanediting.com. That's ROSEDENE editing.com to get your free 7 steps to line editing checklist.
I'm also offering a free first page edit through my line edits and action series. You can sign up on my website at
rosedeanediting.com, ROSEDENE editing.com.
and you'll be entered into a weekly drawing for a free line edit of your opening page.
And join us next week as we dive into commonly mispronounced words. Oh, good God.
This is going to be a fun one.
That is gonna be fun. Oh, it's gonna be just like camping. Intense. No.
No,
Yeah, no,
I
all
hang
right.
my head.
Remember, words are hard.
We're here to help.
Doo-doo-doo. Okie dokie.